How was Chris Simon so good? This is Chris Simon, whose sudden death on March 18, 2024 has stirred a lot of curiosity. Simon's remarkable achievements in the NHL made a lasting impression on the sport. He played 857 regular season and playoff games over 15 NHL seasons from 1993 to 2008. His signature incidents and the fascinating journey have shaped his life on the ice. In this video, we are going to uncover everything about Chris Simon and why he was so good. Let's get right into it. Simon was a young guy from the small town of Wawa, Ontario, who rose through the ranks of hockey, leaving his mark on the rink and in the hearts of many. Young Simon laced up his skates for the Wawa Flyers, delving headfirst in the world of minor hockey. But it was more than simply a game to him. It was a passion, a calling. His abilities improved as he progressed, eventually garnering the attention of the Sault Ste. Marie Thunderbirds in 1987-88. Can you imagine the thrill of a little boy stepping onto the ice for Junior B hockey? But, like any good novel, Simon encountered his fair share of difficulties. During his adolescence, he struggled with addiction, which put him in deep water with an 8-game suspension for a stick-swinging incident while with the Ottawa 67s. However, Simon was not one to remain down. He fought back, defeated his problems, and emerged stronger, dedicating himself to protecting Indigenous youngsters from the dangers of alcohol. Now, let us fast forward a little. Simon's adventure took him through both the highs and lows of the game. From the OHL to the NHL, he made his mark wherever he went. After the Eric Lindros trade, Simon found a new home elsewhere and underwent several uniform changes over the years. But the Stanley Cup is the peak of any hockey player's dreams. Simon tasted glory with the Colorado Avalanche in 1996, bringing the coveted cup back to Wawa, his hometown. Can you imagine how proud his neighbors were when they saw one of their own raise that wonderful trophy? Let us not forget his experience with the Washington Capitals. What a season that was! Simon was on fire until a shoulder injury knocked him off his skates, causing him to miss most of the playoffs. But that did not dampen his spirit. He rebounded, becoming the team's leading goal scorer in the 1999-2000 season, demonstrating that resilience was his middle name. Throughout his career, Simon was more than simply a hockey player. He was a symbol of hope for Native Canadians, demonstrating that with focus and perseverance, anything is possible. From the little rinks of Wawa to the huge stage of the NHL, Simon's legacy continues to inspire future generations. And this is the story of a true hockey hero. Well, now we'll tell you Simon's story, which is full of twists and turns and plenty of penalties. Simon wasn't simply a player with impressive skills. He also had a passionate personality that occasionally got him into trouble. Consider this, the game is intense, the audience is yelling, and Simon is right in the middle of it. But with that intensity comes a proclivity to put himself in the referee's crosshairs. During his career, Simon received 8 penalties from the NHL. From roughing to slashing, Simon's rap sheet read like a highlight reel of on-ice fights, and each ban, totaling 65 games, demonstrated his propensity to push the limits of the game. But here's the thing, Simon wasn't just a loose cannon. No, beneath that rough-and-tumble demeanor was a guy who lived and breathed hockey, willing to go to any length to help his team win. Sure, he may have crossed the line a few times, but isn't that what truly distinguishes a player? Despite the sanctions, Simon never lost his motivation. If anything, it motivated him to come back stronger and prove that he belonged on the rink, no matter what challenges he faced. So the next time you hear about Simon's suspensions, don't dismiss them as a blot against his name. Consider it part of his career's roller coaster ride, which included highs, lows, and everything in between. After all, a hockey story isn't complete without some penalties. Buckle up, for this installment of Simon's hockey trip will take us on a crazy ride full of drama and serious penalties. It's November 8, 1997, and Simon is up against the Edmonton Oilers. Things are heating up on the ice as Simon uttered a racial slur directed at Edmonton's Mike Greer. Hold on, it's not as simple as it appears. Greer made some disparaging statements regarding Simon's Ojibwa origin, and Simon responded. It felt like a verbal tug-of-war, with words flying left and right. But here's the twist, Simon didn't simply brush it off. he flew to Toronto to personally apologize to Greer. And you know what? Grieving is okay. Talk about sportsmanship. Fast forward to March 8, 2007, and the Islanders face their arch-rivals, the New York Rangers. The tension is obvious, and then it happens. Ryan Hallweg checks Simon from behind, driving him face first into the boards. Ouch! No penalty was called, and play continued. But Simon was not going to let it go. Simon takes a two-handed baseball swing at Hallweg with his hockey stick as he skates by, reminiscent of a Hollywood film. Chaos ensues on the ice, and Simon receives a game misconduct, ejecting him from the game faster than you can say penalty box. This is where things get extremely intense. The NHL has suspended Simon indefinitely, pending further review. He eventually receives a suspension that lasts the rest of the season, including the playoffs. But get this, Hallweg isn't even interested in filing charges. In a brilliant move, Simon issues a statement, admitting to his crimes and apologizing like a genuine professional. He confesses that he doesn't recall much of the incident due to the concussion he sustained. Talk about taking responsibility, right? So there you have it, a roller coaster of emotions, drama, and a slew of fines. That's just how the game works sometimes. Hold on to your seats, because the next part of Simon's hockey story is a real nail-biter. It has a lot of twists and turns, and some shocking moments. Well, on December 15, 2007, the Islanders and the Pittsburgh Penguins were in a very close game. Things are getting tense when, all of a sudden, they become very wild. Near the seats, Tim Jackman and Jarkko Ruutu start talking to each other. Suddenly, Simon appears out of nowhere. When the game is stopped, Simon sees his chance, and, well, he doesn't hold back. He trips Ruutu and throws him to the ice in a move that looks like it belongs in a wrestling match. But wait, things get much worse. Simon then transforms into a true ninja and uses his skate blade to trample Ruutu on the leg. Do you believe it? Referee Justin St. Pierre sees the whole mess and doesn't waste any time. Simon was thrown out of the game faster than you can say penalty box. The narrative continues, so hold on to your hats. The league penalizes Simon and suspends him for 30 games without pay. This is the NHL's third longest ice incident ban. Colin Campbell, a league legend, calls Simon's antics a repeated lack of control. He won't stay down for long. After a brief vacation, he plays one more game with the Islanders before joining the Minnesota Wild. Also, don't think that was the end of the chaos. After Chris Pronger gets away with stomping on Ryan Kessler's leg in a similar incident, Simon gets involved in a heated debate about fair play in the game. There's so much action going on all the time. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, and Simon's story takes a very sad turn. Even though he is great at hockey, he fights problems off the ice, dealing with addiction and the long-term effects of his injuries. Simon lost his fight on March 18, 2024, which is very sad. He leaves behind a legacy that is both complicated and unforgettable. This is the crazy story of Chris Simon. It had highs, lows, and everything in between. His journey was one for the books, from the thrill of winning on the ice to the hard times off of it. If you like this video, make sure to hit the bell icon and subscribe to our channel.